That could even happen after the U.S. military pulls their coup off. So we could be looking at a package deal. And the fourth glide path. And I got all my cards here. And I got Zen Garcia tomorrow night. And yeah, the tornado hit at the height of the political. You know, all of a sudden this big tornado was created at the height of all this stuff that's happening in with Benghazi and the IRS gate. I just never got through my cards. So, well, Terrell's not going to be on Thursday anymore. I'm going to try to get a hold of this food broker and Pastor Eli. And the cards get old after a time. And I could jump on Studio B afterwards. I didn't do it last night because I got messed up. I was thinking I was going to do an open round table. My laptop's not up yet. And so I ended up holding the server too long. And then Major Tom got on, and I didn't want a Bigfoot helmet jump over. So I will go over to Studio B tonight, and I'm going to work through my cards. So how do you get to Studio B? You go to freerevolutionradio.com, and you'll see off to the side a whole bar of stuff, including site support. It would be helpful. You can throw a few dollars in, and you see Schedule A and Schedule B, and that's Studio B, I think. Oh no, it's at the bottom. You'll see Studio A and Studio B, and so I don't know if it's even going to work for me. Never done it, so but that's what I'll do, and I'll work through my cards because tomorrow night Zen Garcia with the Sons of God, and he's all down with the reptilian human hybrid seed line, and we'll talk and we'll do an update. And he's a pretty good analysis. He knows the true reality. So once you know that and you multiply that, especially he comes from a more scriptural standpoint. And so he's watching too. And I don't know what's going to happen, somebody like that, when the power goes off. I mean, he's a quadriplegic. I mean, I don't know. No wonder I buy time. That's why I'm trying to buy time. Okay, now the fourth one, before I get cut off. All right, the fourth glide path, real quick. Okay. I'm going to jump over to Studio B, and I'll do the fourth glide path, and I'll rip through the cards. Okay. Hijacker, 214th edition, over and out. And I'll be over on Studio B.
Listening to Revolution Radio.
Is your data safe? Do you have the necessary information to assist you in confidently living through just about any survival situation? Is survival or gardening, off-grid living, medical knowledge, or even natural or man-made EMPs on your list of personal concerns? Do you have your documents and your personal information in a safe place in your hands where you know where it is? Well, check out our preloaded EMP-proof thumb drive. Over 3 gigs of survival documents and how-tos, plus the USDA offline food preservation website, and much, much more, including a surprise bonus we just can't tell you about here. With plenty of room left over to store your most important documents. Imagine if a megavirus or computer failure took out your bank, or all the banks for that matter. Are your banking records safe in your hands? So when they get things fixed and repaired, you can say, hey, look, this is what I had. You have it. I want it back. Is your personal data safe? Family records, addresses, phone numbers? Well, squeeze on over to freedomslips.com. Yes, that's www.freedomslips.com. Click the banner on the homepage for the EMP-proof bullet drive to get the full scoop of everything that we offer. So, folks, keep your data safe for your peace of mind. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
How dare you? How dare you?
No, how dare you?
No, how dare you?
How dare you?
to dare me? How dare you? How dare me when how dare you? You big hippie head.
Hello all, thanks for tuning in to Revolution Radio. We are the #1 public access, commercial-free internet talk radio station on the web, with between 12 and 16 hours of live programming per day, bringing you news, politics, entertainment, and just plain human interactive talks with our extremely informative and successful nightly open caller roundtables. And how do we do this? Through the support of volunteers and donations from good listeners like you. So if you're digging what you hear, and we are bringing you an entertaining and informative service, please visit our site support page and donate to the cause. Keep us live, keep us kicking, help us bring you the talk. We are already here. Help keep us here. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Revolution Radio!
Syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week.
Yes.
But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting.
Yes, I see.
By a civil majority in the case of purely internal affairs.
Be quiet.
But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more
Be quiet.
I order you to be quiet.
Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! Just a flesh wound. I don't believe I've seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, stupidity.
I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do? Bleed on me? I'm invincible.
You're a loony.
The Black Knight always triumphs.
Welcome one, welcome all, and it is that time for Roundtable Live here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Be rolling on until 4 a.m. in the morning Eastern Time. New ideas, different hosts every night, different subjects every night. You never know what's going to happen right here at the Roundtable Live. King Arthur has nothing on us. We're going round and round.
The Humpday Roundtable. Revolution-radio.com. Freedom Slips is a tip. Turn it on. Revolution-radio.com. Freedom Slips is a tip. Turn it on. Revolution-radio.com. And now your host, Rectify, and his trusty sidekick, Agent H. Freedom Slips.
Hello, all you good people of Revolution Radio. This is Rectify. And Heather's on mute. This is
Heather.
You're blowing. This is a Revolution Radio Humpday Roundtable. Welcome. We always come off with a little bit of an edge, kind of falling off the cliff type of deal.
Yeah,
Feels
that kind
good.
of an edge.
But
Happy Hump Day, Rectify.
happy Hump Day, man. How's your week been?
Oh, humpy.
Yeah,
Little humps and bumps here and there.
halfway
but-
there.
Yep, I'm more than halfway there. I'm over the hump.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You're West Coast of the United States, correct?
You know where I'm at. Yeah.
We're not really over the
Arizona, Southwest.
We got another hour before we're over the hump officially, but a lot of the world is.
Okay.
But
How's the
tonight-
weather?
The weather, we
Yeah.
got June gloom.
Ew.
Yeah, so it's a lot of humidity and a lot of overcast.
It's hot like hell where I'm at.
Yeah, what was your temp today? What was
Oh,
your
probably, I don't know, I'm thinking like 113 or something like that. That's just a guess.
I would never leave the house. I almost don't anyways.
So, if you want to call in, we invite callers to call in, and the number is
347
688
2902. 347-688-2902. It is a round table. Don't let the camels trick you. We're not checking each other out, even though...
We're not camels, really.
We're just looking forward to the weekend. It's the hump day. It's the Wednesday. But we're gonna have some fun. Last week we did some doom porn. We got into the doomgasms. This week, what I want to do, but before I get into this week tonight, next week, what actually is going to be happening as a topic for the roundtable is I'm going to start having a different religious entity on from a different religion every week. And everybody can call in and just break them down, debate them to hell. And next week, we're going to start with a good friend of mine I grew up with who's a Mormon guy.
That's going to be nice. It's not a roast, though.
No, not at all. And he can handle it. I mean, all my friends are strong. They're like Rectify. They can handle it. They can deal. You know, they can deal. And they're down for debate. I've talked to them all already. So far, I got a Hindu, a Mormon, and a Jew coming on. And it's going to be all separate. We're going to have, you know, different interviews for different nights. And it's just going to start off the roundtable, basically.
Is there a name for this adventure?
I've thought about that.
How about just it's a bonus? How about it's just the bonus part of our program?
It's like smack your religion or smack your hate around the religion or something.
Whack-a-mole.
Right? But yeah, I'm going to actually play something that's really derogatory against Mormons first, which he already knows I'm going to do. And then I'm going to let him talk. And he's actually a seminary teacher even, so he's deep in there. And
wow. So what religion?
Mormon.
Wonderful.
And he wakes up at like the butt crack at dawn every morning and goes and teaches the youth his Mormon knowledge.
I had an interesting story, but I'll save it for the Mormon time.
It'll be fun, I think. I think it'll bring out a lot of truth and a lot of, you know, will come
maybe we can all, find the common factor between them all and figure it out somehow. Well,
tonight I wanted to get into Codex Alimentarius. Do you know what that is, Heather?
I do not. Codex Alimentarius.
It's It is Agenda 21 of the United Nations, basically. It's a eugenics program of controlling our food, GMO and all that good stuff. I think chemtrails have a lot to do with it. But yeah, I've got a couple clips. I've actually lost a clip or two that I was trying to gather.
Now, is it too old? Is it too far back in history for it to even be a topic of conversation about the original eugenics program? Or is that just history,
I think eugenics today is more strong than it was ever in time. I mean, it's a hardcore program. They really want to take away about 70 to 80% of the population.
So it's the same program?
I'm assuming.
Yes, it is, right?
You keep your, the controlled, quote-unquote, slaves at a certain population level. It's like bunnies, right? They breed like rabbits. Can't have too many of them, otherwise you're going to run out of grass. That's the way I see it.
But you'll be warm in the winter.
If you know how to sew.
Oh, yeah, of course I know how to sew.
But yeah, man, I thought I'd just start out with talking about Codex Alimentarius. I'm going to let a 6-minute clip. It's 6 minutes. Codex Alimentarius explained in 6 minutes. So we'll start there. And, callers, 347-688-2902. Or if you want to hit us up on Skype, which is a better option, it sounds better. Quality-wise, you can hit us up at Freedom Screen, all one word, all lowercase. But yeah, let's start off with the frickin' clip.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
They're also poisoning our food and have been for a long time. Let me tell you a bit of what persistent organic pollutants are. They are also poisoning our food. They are also poisoning our food and have been for a long time. Let me tell you a bit of what persistent organic pollutants are, which are known as POPs. Persistent organic pollutants are chemical substances that persist in the environment, accumulate through the food web, and cause adverse effects to humans' health and the environment. Most pops are used as a pesticide for fruits, vegetables, and other cash crops. If pops were used on a crop one season and not used the next, the crops can still be affected by them because it can accumulate in the soil, having a toxic effect on the crop. Humans and animals then eat the food, and pops can actually bioaccumulate in the fatty tissue of the unsuspecting victim. Scientists estimate that the misuse of pops causes thousands of access deaths, millions of disabilities, and billions of lost dollars annually. The Stockholm Convention is a global treaty signed by 176 countries to protect human life and environment from pops. It was established in 2004. The website is chm.pops.int. End result at the time was they successfully banned 12 of the worst organic pollutants known to man. The 12 worst pops were chlordin, DDT, daldrin, dioxin, endrin, furan, heptachlor, hexachlorobenzene, Myrex, polychlorinated biphenyls, and toxaphene. 9 out of 12 of these chemicals were pesticides. Now that you know that information, let me introduce you to what Codex Alimentarius is. Codex Alimentarius was a commission created in 1963 by World Health Organization and Food Agriculture Organization by the UN, United Nations, to develop food standards guidelines. It was also created to control the trade of food. It was done under the practice of the joint FAO and WHO Food Standards Program. Codex has rules for absolutely everything we can legally put into our mouth, except for pharmaceuticals. It's all about trade and the profits of multinational corporations. You can visit their website and check out the standards for yourself at www.codexalimentarius.net. At the top right, put cursor on official standards. Let me assure you that the food standards are not in the attention of the people. They may say that on their website, but they are lying. Codex is unscientific because it classifies nutrients as toxins and uses risk assessment to set ultra-low so-called safe upper limits for them. Risk assessment is a branch of toxicology, the science for assessing toxins. The proper science for assessing nutrients is biochemistry. Codex does not use biochemistry. I'm going to list a few of the most important standards and things the Commission wants to achieve and make mandatory by December 31st, 2009. Under Codex, every dairy cow on the planet must be treated with Monsanto recombinant bovine growth hormone. Recombinant bovine growth hormone is a genetically engineered copy of a natural occurring hormone produced by cows. Monsanto Company is the one who manufactures it. Milk production increases by as much as 10 to 15%. Recombinant bovine growth hormone milk is supercharged with high levels of natural growth factor and has been known to cause breast, colon, and prostate cancers.
Got milk? Better yet, how about got cancer? Got a sick prostate, and you're looking for answers?
Under Codex, every animal must be treated with antibiotics and growth hormones. Literally every animal we eat. Under Codex states that all food must be irradiated. That means to heat with radiation or to expose to radiation. 176 countries agreed to ban the 12 worst organic chemicals known to man. 9 out of these chemicals were pesticides. Codex is bringing back 7 out of these 9 forbidden pops. Food with these chemicals on them cannot be stopped at the borders because it would be a trade violation. All of this will be mandatory December 31st, 2009. When Codex Alimentarius goes into global implementation in 2009, the joint WHO and FAO projections for the impact of Codex Alimentarius nutrition and mineral guidelines alone, not including the impact of pesticides, will result in a minimum of 3 billion deaths. 1 billion through starvation and 2 billion will die from the preventable diseases of undernutrition. Dr. Rima Labo from the Natural Solutions Foundation is the most popular for exposing Codex Alimentarius. You can find her videos on youtube.com by typing Codex Alimentarius in the search. All that I've stated is completely true.
So yeah, they're controlling the food. We all pretty much know that if you're here at Revolution Radio or been here for a while. And it goes hand in hand with what's also known as Agenda 21.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah, it's and then you got to bring in the chemtrails to this whole picture too. I'm sure it fits in. I wish someone like the Greek could call in and give us his wisdom and knowledge
About chemtrails?
Yeah, and the whole Agenda 21 thing.
I've never heard of that. Is that like some club?
No, it's actually like a bill that's been written that they follow that it's going to give them control of all the food. That's why farmers are committing suicide in very high, large numbers.
That could be why, it could be a reason. They could be going insane and, whatever chemical it makes them consider suicide. Like there's some risks of certain things,
They just can't do their business. They're being forced out of the farming business by big agriculture, big corporations.
Oh, yeah, I hear you there. I know what you're saying. We used to have a ranch, and it's hard work.
The genetically modified organism, basically the DNA in the food and the seed has been changed by these corporations, and they lease them out to people, to farmers, to big farmers to grow. And there's big farmers that are all about growing, Mother Nature food still. They don't want anything to do with that stuff, right? They don't want spider genes mixed in with their corn and soy.
Well, it's what plants crave.
Right. It's Bruno.
No, it's what plants crave.
Electrolytes.
It's got electrolytes in it. It's what plants crave.
What happens is the pollen from these mutated GMO plants ends up getting in the air or traveled by a bee or a fly or something over to these natural growing farmers' land and their crops, and it cross-pollinates and it mutates their farm and their crop.
And did you stop to consider that the dirt, maybe the chemicals are just soaking into the dirt and that is mutating it in itself?
Right. Could be that too, which brings up a good point I'm going to bring up about
and the water.
chemtrails.
Yeah.
But what happens at that point is these GMO big dogs will come in then and get a sample of that natural farmer's crop and go, oh, look, you're growing our GMO copyrighted plant, and sue the hell out of them and take their land and their farm from them. And that's what's been happening. It's like, wow, how can you control that? It's an act of God, if anything. I thought, people were immune as far as the court systems and the lawful and legal, the justice system. You were immune from acts of God. It's not your fault. But not the case here with the whole GMO game. They're literally, farmers are committing suicide because they can't keep up. They can't make a profit anymore. They're being pushed out, kind of like Revolution Radio. But yeah, chemtrails. Agenda 21, right? You got, like what you mentioned, the soil. That could be a part of it. Okay, well, there's been plenty of studies on chemtrails that shows that the main ingredients that are being sprayed on us are aluminum and barium. Now, barium is known to be radioactive,
nuclear dye.
Absorbent. Yeah, it absorbs radiation. Aluminum is a reflectant. But what's crazy is all these GMO strains are all aluminum resistant plants with their little spider genes in them and all that. Kind of interesting, right?
Well, what's interesting to me is that the fact that it's metal. A couple other points that go as far as aluminum is concerned. I think it's also in hair dye, and that contributes to a major percentage of the people that get Alzheimer's.
The deodorant too.
And is that not aluminum to metal, or is that a different kind of aluminum?
It's all aluminum as far as I'm concerned. You can add whatever fancy, names after it, but
is it good for things?
No, aluminum is
Never
horrible.
good.
Like you said, it causes Alzheimer's. Our plants hate it unless you have that aluminum-resistant GMO plant.
Well, I thought aluminum was a good thing because
No,
we invented it, and it seems to have
respiratory-
lasted through a number of years.
Respiratory problems, That's why all of our pots and pans, basically, they started making them out of aluminum. We used to have cast iron, right? I still use cast iron. But, yeah, aluminum cans, so forth and so on.
What's the point? Is there aluminum, are we required to have it as a nutrient, or is it poisonous to us?
It's a good question. I'm sure a little bit of anything is not poisonous to us, and it's beneficial, but balance is the key, right?
Well, I don't know, I failed chemistry, but do people even have metals in them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so like copper and iron.
Our neurosystem wouldn't be able to work unless we had
Metals.
an electrolyte, you know, some sort of mineral within our water or blood. Yeah, most definitely. But another fact here, these are all my theories on chemtrails. Number 2, the inhalation of barium and aluminum causes respiratory diseases, which have skyrocketed since 1999.
You think that?
What was that?
You think that?
Oh, I know that. I can pull the facts up.
No.
Stats.
I was going to have my gallbladder taken out at some point years ago, and they wanted me to drink some of that blue nuclear barium, radioactive, whatever, and I wouldn't do it, and that's where I drew the line, you know. I'm like,
how are they going to do this?
They need you to drink it to take the test.
Oh, so they can throw radiation through you and...
I don't know what the point is. The point is so that it appears in their x-ray, whatever's going on with your digestive or whatever. But it's got to be like some glow-in-the-dark raid, or I don't get it, you know?
Right. Well, another...
It just sounded gross. I wasn't going to drink it, but like my grandpa... A lot of people do it every day. People do it all day long. I'll bet you like...
Doesn't mean I'm going to.
I know. I'm scared.
I'm not scared. I just don't trust doctors, man. They're and they're always practicing, right? There's not one that's not practicing.
Doctors?
Right.
Sure there are.
No, they're all practicing.
Practicing is when they're earning, I think.
It'd be nice to have Seth on the call, get some etymology on that.
Yeah, our hijacker, he's very knowledgeable, too.
He's actually on Studio B competing with us.
Oh, hijacker, go, hijacker, go.
Go! Number 3 on the chemtrails, I think it might be a catalyst. You know, these are all multiple things I think they're used for. Number 3 would be a catalyst for HARP arrays and weather modification systems. Just like you were asking if we had metal in our systems for our neuropaths to work, we do. And if you want to throw electromagnetic energy around the curve of the Earth, you need to have a pathway. And
that would have something to do with the heart, I believe.
Right.
Right.
And then number 4, blocking of gamma and proton exposure coming from outer space and the sun. You know, they could actually be protecting us in some way.
What? Can you explain to me what gamma is, Rectify? I don't know what that word means.
It's just a different frequency of radiation.
Oh, so gamma ray is bad?
Yeah.
All the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not good for you.
I'm learning so much.
So, yeah, I think that the chemtrails might be there to reflect, you know, a lot of this radiation and or absorb with the, you know, the barium. So that could be a part of it, which brings up, you know, R0undTabl3 on Hijacker's show, his Planet X theory, his dark star. Maybe the energies the chemtrails are blocking are not even coming from our sun, but our twin sun, our binary partner sun. And it's protecting us.
Yeah, you know my theory on that in the environment.
What's that?
About the metals and the environment and the Planet X.
Oh, let me hear it again.
No, I don't.
Come on.
I don't want to pull it out right now. Because I'm going to have to.
We have no callers. We got to stretch some time here, girlfriend.
All right, well, you're going to have to give me a second so I can have some evidence. I'm sure if SJ would appreciate it, something to back up my claim.
All right, let me go back.
And he was trying to call, I thought, but maybe he was trying to call his hijacker.
I haven't gotten one single call. We've been on the air for 21 minutes, which is very, very odd, but...
It's okay. Thanks, SJ.
The phones last week were busy on my.
It's okay.
So I don't know. Number 6 for the chemtrail conspiracy, in my eyes, is it's a military radar. Again, so they can trace and track around the curvature of the globe.
I think it's a screen.
And number 7, they're hiding something at a certain wavelength in the sky and in space that they don't want us to see. So, in other words, you can do certain mixtures that will block certain colors as a filter. And maybe the red or blue Kachinas out there laughing at us, and they're hiding it. Something like that. I don't know. What's your opinion?
I think it's for a screen.
Ted Gunderson, he was he was an FBI, he was the head of the FBI, he was a chief agent in charge in Los Angeles, Dallas, and Memphis at one time, and he actually died last year, I believe. He was a big advocate for chemtrail truth. Yeah, cancer took him out. What's new, right? 83 years old, but the guy was repenting. He was a part of it all. He's seen it from the inside, kind of like Dr. Fred Bell, and later end of his life, when it all came to realization, light bulb went off, and seeing what he was all a part of in his past came and brought it to the surface, and it probably took him out. I don't think he died naturally. Cancer's definitely not natural. Let me go ahead and play another clip on Agenda 21.
Found some stuff. I was just looking for the right thing to read.
Sustainable development has become...
So, yeah, we'll go ahead and do another clip on Agenda 21.
Wait, you didn't want to hear about the Nibiru?
Oh, you pulled it up? Yeah, go for it.
I did. I'm just looking for the right place to start reading. Bear with me. Well, okay. One of the ways to reflect light into space would be to introduce reflective material into the highest part of the Earth's atmosphere. Such a solution is being considered seriously. Suggestions include the release of millions of reflective balloons into the upper atmosphere. Another is changing the emission gases of airplanes to produce white and longer-lasting contrails. The third is releasing sulfate droplets into the upper atmosphere, which would mimic the action of cooling volcanic eruptions. So I just think the more that we tamper with the weather, the more the weather is going to rebel against us, tampering with it.
That's a good point. Volcanism has gone off the charts also in the last couple of years, which, along with the tectonic activity, all the earthquakes everywhere.
Right, and I think that the whole thing about metals and the Niberian atmosphere, it needs that gold to sustain its environment. So, the way that metals react with each other and...
So Nibiru uses like gold chemtrails, basically.
That's how, basically the chemtrails is what keeps it out of our sight. Like why we can't see it or why we can't find it or whatever. It's just made invisible. Like one of those holograms and you move it different ways and it moves, You
ever heard that the moon is a hologram?
I've heard a lot of things about that.
There are two satellites, I guess you'd call them. I don't know, some people would call them stars, but I always observe them on the opposite sides of the sky, east and west sides, and they're always flickering blue, green, and red constantly. And I've read that those were actually projectors projecting the moon. It's not real. Not for a while now. But that's just something I've read, of course. Looks like Christopher of the Fleming family might be coming in for an update.
Oh, wowee. It's been a while, huh?
I thought he was in prison or something. Let's find out what's going on with Chris, right?
What, are you going to drag him in?
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Surprise.
No surprise.
Okay, well, surprise.
He loves
You can't
surprise.
just drag him in. you know.
Ding, 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 ding.
Is it ringing?
It's ringing. We'll see if he answers or not. If not, oh well. We'll talk to him another time. But I'd like to hear, I mean, Christopher's, he's a big advocate of the acceptance for value and the, you know, the sovereign living man style, which is cool. Mm-hmm. We can all learn from that. Paperwork, you know, the pen's mightier than the sword.
We should keep all the people that listen to us on their toes and every week drag in somebody out of nowhere. It's like a surprise. A bonus.
Some people
a bonus
do.
call.
I really never do that. I don't drag people in.
It's just because he's your friend, I'm sure. No big.
Yeah, totally. I mentored this kid. I got him off drugs and stuff years and years ago.
Well, he didn't answer, obviously.
We fight. He hates me because I don't stand by everything he believes in, which I'm my own man, so that's my own right.
Hey, the moon's just a projection of the...
There he is. What's up, Chris?
Hi, Christopher of the Fleming family.
Hey, yo, what's going on? I gotta mute the station. I was just listening to you guys tripping out.
Aww.
Yeah, we're talking about Codex Alimentarius and Agenda 21 and chemtrails. Do you believe
in chemtrails?
Yeah. You ever look up?
The white rainbows?
Dude, there's some crazy pictures someone posted of like the inside of one of the jets, like completely like hollowed out. And there's a whole bunch of canisters. It's crazy.
Oh, I've seen that. That's actually, what that is a test airplane. That's, those are all full of water. They're ballasts, basically, so they can do tests, on weight shifting within the aircraft itself. They'll pump water to one side or the other of the plane during certain maneuvers.
They openly admit that they're spraying stuff in the air, though. You know?
Yeah, they call it geoengineering, right?
I'm going to put a picture in chat of what you guys were just explaining, the inside of the plane.
Yeah, inside that plane, too, that biohazard sign, it's been proven, photoshopped in on the background there.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just found a different link.
Oh.
Well. Hey, homeboy, hey, I just got your call right now. Hey, I'm just going to finish this up because I'm like right in the middle of something, but I'll jump on with you guys in like 10 minutes. Is that cool?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my train of thought if I don't finish this because I got like papers spread all over the place. You know how it is.
Homie.
All right, Doc. Love you, bro. Be right back.
Bye.
All right. I thought he wanted to say something first.
Well, you know, there's really you've got to say something about completing things when you start them.
Right. Let's just
take a time. Okay, go.
9 minutes. Go get yourself a drink, all right? And get in your Agent H costume, and I'm going to...
Oh, my gosh, yeah, that's funny you said that because I'm not wearing anything.
Oh, my. Here we go.
Bye.
Sustainable development has become the popularized expression for Agenda 21. Agenda 21 is the 1992 United Nations Rio Declaration on the Environment and Development.
It is the agenda for the 21st century you're living in today. For a brave new world where everything that you cherished and held true will no longer exist.
Agenda 21 defines itself as the comprehensive plan of action to be taken globally, nationally, and locally by organizations of the United Nations systems.
It also elevates nature above man. And it contains something called the precautionary principle, where basically you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Sustainable development is the philosophy designed to bring human beings across the globe under the full control of a narrow human elite.
It's a 40-chapter document to basically control the world. It's based entirely on socialist control mechanisms.
Sustainable developers have designed a global movement coordinated through a global to local action plan to create world government in accordance with certain objectives. These objectives include an end to national sovereignty, the abolition of private property, the restructure of the family unit, and increasing limitations and restrictions on mobility and individual opportunity.
The green goal includes the listings of what's not sustainable. A couple of the examples include private property.
728 lists fossil fuels.
Golf courses and ski lodges are not.
Consumerism.
Irrigation is not sustainable.
Paved roads.
Commercial agriculture.
Herbicides, pesticides. Elsewhere, it lists farmlands, pastures, grazing of livestock.
And the family unit.
The focus of sustainable development is the abolition of private property, societal undermining of the family, and abandonment of the constitutional protection of unalienable rights as described in the Declaration of Independence.
You see, I sat on the Santa Cruz Agenda 21 committees. Now, this was a lot of crazy ideas. This was back in the mid-90s. Crazy ideas I heard. Mother Earth's surface wasn't to be scratched. Human beings were to be concentrated into human settlement zones. Educational systems were to focus on the environment as the central organizing principle. All aspects of life were covered. Well, I went to these committees at the request of some people who told me that I needed to understand what was going on, and I came back and I said, this is craziness. This is so silly. It has no chance of having any effect on our society. Well, I was wrong. The United States government's support for sustainable development, Agenda 21, is very clear. In 1992, while the Rio conference was going on, George Bush, then president, was there where he executed the Agenda 21 protocols on behalf of the United States and brought it back to Washington, D.C. Within a year, Bill Clinton, by executive order, no congressional review, established the President's Council for Sustainable Development. In Santa Cruz, we've got a 2-lane freeway system. We need 4, but what we're getting is hundreds of millions of dollars of federal money to take a dilapidated rail line that Southern Pacific wants to put in the hands of somebody else so that a commuter line can be built along the railroad track. That'll be followed by 14-story buildings where people will live in stacked and impacted units, where developers, or so-called sustainable developers, will build these high rises with federal dollars. In fact, Santa Cruz has received a $300 million federal grant to build the first 3,000 of these stacked and impacted units. The County Board of Supervisors said, if you are a sustainable developer, you're immune from any construction defect liability. It's a partnership between selected developers building this new world order and the government using the American taxpayer dollars in order to do it. This is a map of the Wildlands Project. To explain the map, the red are areas that are to be off limits to human beings. No resource development, no human activity. If you live there, you won't. The yellow areas are the areas for major control of all human activity. If you live there, you won't. The black areas, the black dots, are the smart growth zones. That's where human beings are to be stacked and packed in small living units along rail tracks. The Smart Growth Program ultimately has jobs assigned and children cared for by the state.
The question has been asked many times how the people who are perpetrating these things expect to do this and make it last. The answer to that is that you steal a generation of children and you indoctrinate them so that they accept these ideas and they become global citizens in the coming global village.
UNESCO came out and declared 2005 to 2015 the decade of education for sustainable development. But they go on to say that it will encompass the 40 chapters of Agenda 21. That is your federal national curriculum. The entire purpose of second grade social studies is to transfer loyalty from the family to the government and teach them about sustainable economic consumption. Students construct their own understandings of reality and realize that objective reality is not knowable. So why bother? The truth is, the truth, which keep men free, is being suppressed in order to prop up the attitude training agenda. And it moves on. This is our new math called connected mathematics. Standard 3 tells us that students learn that mathematics is man-made, that it is arbitrary, and good solutions are arrived at by consensus. Most of us assume 2 plus 2 is always going to equal 4. You're wrong. We might reach a new consensus. How well does it work? Well, they tell you in the teacher's guide in the back, it tells us that because the curriculum doesn't emphasize arithmetic computations done by hand, some students may not do as well on tests assessing computational skills. We believe such a trade-off in the favor of CMP is very much to the student's advantage in the world of work. Our children are mathematically illiterate on purpose. How do I know on purpose? Why isn't this just a basic bad idea? Because the Sustainable Development Plan tells us so. Generally, more highly educated people who have higher incomes consume more resources than poorly educated people who tend to have lower incomes. In this case, more education increases the threat to sustainability. Charlotte, I owe you an apology. I did not believe for the longest time it was a deliberate dumbing down. I thought the dumbing down was a natural consequence of a bad idea. Folks, it's deliberate. It's deliberate.
The sustainable globalist goal is the orchestration of a planned fall of American principles, values, and lifestyles. The effect on the average American will be devastating. With modernizing technology, the ordinary person will live without independence, privacy, or substantive rights.
Another press conference that I attended was the ICLE group, the International Committee for Local Environmental Initiatives. It helps in the implementation of Agenda 21 in all of our local communities. And one of the speakers was Harvey Rubin, who happens to be the vice chair of ICLE. And I asked him about the correlative rights that Americans derive from the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And that, of course, is your individual liberties, your private property, your freedom of speech. Asked about it clashing with Agenda 21. And you know what his response was? Individual rights must take a back seat to the collective.
Yeah. So yeah, we are all going to be herded into skyscrapers and what they call open air prisons, which I think a lot of us that live in populated areas like I do already pretty much live in an open prison. So yeah, Agenda 21, people. And then you throw in Obamacare with that, which goes into effect in October of this year. The IRS buying all the weapons. What's that, Heather?
What are you talking about, skyscrapers?
Well, Agenda 21, part of it's all shoving everybody into a smaller space to live and be more easily controlled.
You know, the living space in Japan is so tiny.
Yeah. They got paper curtains and stuff instead of doors.
Well, everything is tiny. All their compartments are like
apartments that are together.
What?
Apartments that are together.
Oh.
Compartments. Yeah. I don't know.
Like pods.
Apartments.
Everyone will have their own pod.
Right. And then they'll just call them apartments or something.
Pod people.
So how's the little kitty doing?
The little kitty is so cute.
Did you come up with a name?
I think I did. I've come up with several. I thought of a Russian name today was good. Katrinka Romanovskach or something like that.
You want to try when it comes to like dogs or cats?
Oh, Romanovskachki.
Yeah, you want to keep it 1 or 2 syllables. You don't want to go that far.
Well, all my cats, their last name is LaRue. So it's, I had Taboo LaRue and so forth. Gopal LaRue. And so I think Ruby LaRue is a cute name for the little gray kitty I have. But that's just, I mean, you know, it'll never have a name probably.
Well, I got another 2-minute clip. Might as well throw it out there since we did chemtrails. This is the former chief of the FBI of those 3 cities I mentioned earlier, Ted Gunderson, who's passed away. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Ted. But yeah, big advocate of getting the truth out on chemtrails. There's a little 2-minute clip on his take on it.
The death dumps, otherwise known as chemical trails, are being dropped and sprayed throughout the United States, in England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Europe, and I have personally seen them not only in the United States but in Mexico and Canada. Birds are dying around the world. Fish are dying by the hundreds of thousands around the world. This is genocide. This is poison. This is murder by the United Nations. This element within our society that's doing this must be stopped. I happen to know of 2 of the locations where the airplanes are that dump this crap on us. 4 of the planes are out of Air National Guard, Lincoln, Nebraska, and the other planes are out of Fort Still, Oklahoma. I personally have observed the planes that were standing still in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, at the Air National Guard. They have no markings on them. They're huge, bomber-like airplanes with no markings. This is a crime. Crime against humanity, crime against America, crime against the citizens of this great country. They must be stopped. What is wrong with Congress? This has an effect on their population and their people and their friends and their relatives and themselves. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with the pilots who are flying these airplanes? They're dumping this crap, this poison, on their own families. Somebody has to do something about it. Somebody in Congress has to step forward and stop it now. Thank you. I'm Ted Gunderson.
Once again, rest in peace, Ted. You were a good man. You put forth everything you could for mankind.
Rectify, I'm wondering if the phone lines are working.
No, they're not. I just actually called ourselves, and it's busy just like last week.
Well, sometimes if you call yourself, it is busy, but maybe...
No, I mean, I called the station with my cell phone.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Well, who's in charge of that? I mean, let's just take care of it.
I don't know. I know I don't have the keys to it. Otherwise, I'd make sure it was working. Here's another clip. Check it out. Ted Gunderson again. Good man.
We're getting emails from mothers all around the planet whose kids are sick. They're coughing up blood. They're vomiting. They're having viruses that won't go away. Teachers are reporting that they've never seen anything like this before. That the kids, even here in Santa Monica, my girlfriend works at a school. They had to take a girl away in an ambulance a couple days ago. 2 of the parents said they want to get their child out of the country, but they don't know where to go. They're thinking of Ecuador. They're thinking of somewhere. They think they need to get their child out of the country in order to save their lives. It's that bad.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all need to leave the country to save our lives. We're getting ready for martial law. Yeah. Everything's pointing to martial law. Yeah. It's been planned 2 centuries. May 1st, 1776. 86, 96. Yeah.
When you're talking about martial law, Ted, we're talking about a Hitlerian superstate, are we not?
Well, we're talking about a police state. And we're talking about Nazi Germany in 1933. We're talking about, all these shootings around the country. The one in Arizona that we had, I think, in West Virginia and Oregon and all that have taken place. So, in my opinion, I can't prove it. These are mind control victims, MK Ultra mind control victims. And the whole thing is designed to destroy the Second Amendment, to take our guns away from us.
Well, they got to do that before they go into martial law.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they couldn't kill us freely.
Well, what Adolf Hitler did, he told all the Germans, put your guns on the front porch, we're collecting them tomorrow. And they did, foolishly. And the Nazis, Gestapo came around and collected them the next day. Now what they're doing, okay, we have censures on all the major highways in America today. I talked to somebody who is installing the censures, okay? Now I think, turn your old car in for cash, okay? Because they don't have the computer in the old cars. They want everybody to buy a new car so that they keep track of us. The cell phones, hey, they know exactly where I am.
GPS, right?
Yeah, they know, the boys know exactly where I am at this very moment. If not here, from my car.
The boys, they know. Can't escape them.
The boys.
The boys
Yeah.
that watch over you, the all-seeing eye boys.
Oh.
There's no privacy anymore. Have you noticed that?
There's never been any privacy. Am I blowing?
I'm going to go ahead and grab... No, you're all right. I'm going to grab Christopher again. Let's get an update.
Well, let him finish what he was doing because you know it sounded important.
I like picking at him. You know how I am.
Right, but he wants to... It'll just take longer.
There he is. Chris, give us an update, man. What's up with the sovereign man of the Fleming family?
Oh, you know, bunch of drama happened, dog. Someone told the judge that I've been recording in court and stuff, so.
Is that unlawful?
Well, you know what he told me is, they kind of ambushed me, dude. It was crazy. Hold on one sec. Let me just, go outside.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and queue up whatever you got from...
I was actually in court one time, and the person I was in court with, had a folder with a recorder in it, and they ended up going, it was a probation arraignment, so they ended up going to jail from there, so I had the folder, and I went into the law library right next door, you know, and going into the law library, they're going to go put you through the scanner, and they found it, and it was still recording when they found it, and they just took the batteries out and gave it back to me when I left.
Did they mess with your SIM card or anything?
No, not at all. But then again, we weren't in the court building either. We were next door in the library. Or I was.
Chris said he had some new footage, but it's not coming through. If you're there, Chris, drop me a link or something.
I have some really cool footage. I just don't know. I need to find an 8mm projector so I can transpose it. Yeah.
No, I had to take it down, dude, because basically what happened is trip on this. So, okay, if anyone was like watching or if anyone's seen, I uploaded. I went to court for a restraining order hearing that was put against me from the homeowner, right? So I recorded the whole thing and uploaded it online, and then the judge basically like denied their restraining order, and then I went and filed for an injunctive relief in the court that I filed, because I filed against him, and then he went and filed a restraining order against me. So they refused to give me a restraining order. So I uploaded the whole thing online, dude, to like document this shit, right? Because these people are criminals and they just lie and they make up all sorts of stuff, and this has been going on for a long time. But the judge was really cool, and she actually like sat there and explained to me like what's going on. She's like, you know, like I did the whole name game in front of her. It was really cool. And I wish we could play it, but I mean, they obviously don't want it online. So it's like, trip on this.
You think?
And dude, it's so crazy and bizarre. Like, I don't even like talking about it because everyone's like, oh, that guy thinks like the government's after him. But it's like obvious that they are. And like, they let you know that they are so that like it tries to put you in fear mode. Like, that's why like I'm really not interested in like doing the shows or like trying to like upload anything anymore. Like, I don't really want to post anything and like letting anyone know what I'm thinking. It's like even right now. But, fuck. Okay, so, I'm sorry. Okay, so,
flocks of pigeons.
So I'm in court, dude, and I recorded the whole thing, and the judge is giving me the rundown. She's real cool. And I go file the injunctive relief, and I go in, and the judge goes, hey, can I ask you a question? This is the second time I went in for the hearing. The first time they denied it because they said I didn't have a proper service. So I went in on the ex parte hearing the second time, and he goes, do you mind if I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he goes, it's come to my attention that when you were in the court next door last week, that you were recording the proceeding and that you uploaded it onto YouTube. And like, I'm sitting there like on a motion on an ex parte writ of possession for the house. Like, and the defendant was served and didn't even show up. And now, like, you know, he's like, this is the first thing he brings up. He's like, so is that true? And he's like, it may be, you know? And then he's like, because I'm not gonna say yes or no, like, and I'm not gonna like try to like, because this is gonna be my judge, right? So I'm in here. So I'm like, it may be, you know? And it was his birthday, so I got real lucky, dude, because it was his birthday, and the whole courtroom was all decorated. So it was kind of cool. Like, perfect.
You're serious.
How everything slid by. It's just like how they liked me, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but he goes like this. So he goes, well, let me ask you. So he goes, is that true? I was like, hey, maybe. He goes, well, when you were in my courtroom a few days ago, he goes, were you recording? And I was like, I may have been. And dude, mind you, this whole time, my phone's in my pocket and I'm recording at the very second, right? So he's like, and he knows that. So he's like, are you recording right now? And I was like, maybe. And I was like, well, no, at that point, I said, oh, well, I'd like to plead the fifth on that because, I don't want to incriminate myself if there is some kind of like statutes or something like that. Cause the one time I walk into the ship and I don't reserve my rights, you know what I'm saying? When I walked into the ship on that time, I told the judge, I was like, hey, I'm reserving all my rights under, natural rights. So honestly, like, they really can't do anything. I can record my own public proceedings.
Yeah.
Unless like they're going to send me a complaint or something, but I'm just going to go ask the judge, hey, is it cool if I keep that online? Everyone wants to know and everyone wants to hear it. It's just cool. But basically he gave me a rundown and he started reading me the civil code of procedure. So he goes, well, would you please pull out the recorder and place it on the table? So, I pulled it out and I put it on the table and I erased the message. I promised him I wouldn't do that anymore. And he read me the, civil code of procedure and basically says that, he goes, well, are you aware that, you know, the code of civil procedure says that if you're going to record the proceedings that you have to, notify the judge before you do so, and every party who's party to the action or whatever. So like I'm sitting there and there's the defendants there. I have to ask him if it's okay, and I have to have everyone's consent. And then if I do, I can only use it for my own private note taking. You know what I'm saying? But I have to like ask everyone first, and then I can only use it for. So they're basically saying like you can't really go and upload that on mine. And he didn't really say I can't, but basically asked me if I did, and then I told him I promised him I wouldn't. So I took it down, you know what I'm saying? But I just think it's really funny how that video only had 800 views in 5 days that it was online. And one of those 800 views has such a high connection that they can sit there and get it right in front of the judge 3 days later. Hey, hey, Chris is uploading all that shit online, you know? Like, you need to tell him about that when he comes into court on Wednesday. Like, that's crazy. Like, they're stalking me, dude. It's insane. So.
Well, they could just be making sure that you're not going to be making a fool out of them, you know, and they're just trying to like make sure that you're not humiliating them or exploiting them or, you know, clowning them.
Yeah,
you know.
Saving face of sorts.
But it sounds like you guys are establishing a pretty good rapport.
Oh yeah, they like me. She likes me a lot. Because you know they see all sorts of stupid cases all the time or boring cases, and like I'm interesting. Like I come in and I keep things interesting. All my paperwork's always like way out, you know. And I keep it fun, and it's all original.
Keep it real, huh?
Yeah. I keep it real.
No pyridome.
And basically, because I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have to like follow all the court rules. I can kind of do my own thing, and they still gotta accept it, you know. Mm-hmm. Which is the best part of not being a lawyer and going and doing all this stuff pro per. And a lot of the other stuff too, like with the A for V's and stuff, like we're seeing hit and misses in there. But every time you come at them and you're the plaintiff, then you're always gonna win. So.
Chris, I want to play that clip, but I think there's F-bombs in there. I'm going to review it as we go to a break, but we'll be right back, everybody.
Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message.
How dare you? No, how dare you? No, how dare you? How dare you? No, how dare you? You dare condemn me? How dare you? How dare me when how dare you? You big head.
Hello all. Thanks for tuning in to Revolution Radio. We are the #1 public access, commercial-free internet talk radio station on the web. with between 12 and 16 hours of live programming per day, bringing you news, politics, entertainment, and just plain human interactive talks with our extremely informative and successful nightly open caller roundtables. And how do we do this? Through the support of volunteers and donations from good listeners like you. So if you're digging what you hear, and we are bringing you an entertaining and informative service, please visit our site support page and donate to the cause. Keep us live, keep us kicking, help us bring you the talk. We are already here. Help keep us here. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. Revolution Radio! How's the pressure?
This is Thomas, a.k.a. a Mad Painter. I'd like you to join me Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Open Canvas. Don't forget to bring an open mind.
Yes, folks, that's right. Bring an open mind to an open canvas. Again, that is Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. UFOs to government corruption. This is Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here. Is your data safe? Do you have the necessary information to assist you in confidently living through just about any survival situation? Is survival and gardening, off-grid living, medical knowledge, or even natural or man-made EMPs on your list of personal concerns? Do you have your documents and your personal information in a safe place in your hands where you know where it is? Well, check out our preloaded EMP-proof thumb drive. Over 3 gigs of survival documents and how-tos, plus the USDA offline food preservation website, and much, much more, including a surprise bonus we just can't tell you about here. With plenty of room left over to store your most important documents. Imagine if a megavirus or computer failure took out your bank, or all the banks for that matter. Are your banking records safe in your hands? So when they get things fixed and repaired, you can say, hey, look, this is what I had. You have it. I want it back. Is your personal data safe? Family records, addresses, phone numbers? Well, squeeze on over to freedomslips.com. Yes, that's www.freedomslips.com. Click the banner on the homepage for the EMP-proof bullet drive to get the full scoop of everything that we offer. So, folks, keep your data safe for your peace of mind. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
Now you can share the topics that drive the discussions of your favorite talk shows with TalkStream Live's topic-driven talk radio. List and promote real-time talk radio topics, or post the topics that you want to hear. Hot topics are tweeted and retweeted, and include simple click-to-listen audio links. The future of talk radio is topic-driven talk radio. Available now at TalkStreamLive.com.
The Empire is in peril.
You're probably too young to know, but the Empire is always in some kind of peril. I may have been overly rude earlier when I called you a pirate. And I may have been overly charitable when I said I wasn't.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Be here Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to catch Roxy Lopez straight from the Valley of the Sun. Her discussions run from chemtrails to sovereignty, aliens to conspiracy facts. So join us for The Truth Denied with Roxy Lopez. Again, that's Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
You ever get tired of being wrong? Come to the future!
You know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look
good. Revolution Radio. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslits.com. We are all listener supported, so if you have a favorite host or somebody that you listen to and support, drop like $10 for a hijacker to help pay for the bills. And if you're not, this is what Major Tom always says, so Major Tom, I'll give you the credit. If you're not in chat, you're missing half of the fun. Go to revolutionradio.com or revolution-radio.com and go into the chat room, pick a name, and meet all of the lovely people that are in the chat room contributing to the station as well. So do you still want me to run down the list, Rectify, or what's...
Yeah, let's say hi to all of our chat room peoples. All the people.
Want to take turns? Let's take turns.
All right, let's do it.
You go first.
All right, we got Nighthawk, the owner of the station.
And Cat.
Al 9000, our favorite bot.
Tones.
VO Bear.
Cam Black.
Hans.
Jason.
The Trivia Bot.
He's so unpopular. Billy Hayes.
We got Brennan, who's AFK right now.
Hi, Jer Bear.
With Just in Time.
Pony.
Me, Rectify.
You can't say hi to yourself.
Hi, Rectify. Hi, Arthur. D2.
Hi, Vibes.
Weisenberg. Don't fuck.
Abe Ross.
Ace.
And Yo.
Which is a hostess on Shake and Wake Radio with Rick and Annie. Bob.
8 to 10. Is it 8 to 10 Monday through Fridays Eastern Time?
That's correct.
Bob, sorry. Check me 6.
Check MI6. That's that's the CIA of Britain, basically.
Ah, okay.
Bob, and we have Chipmunky, Monkey.
Cooper.
Cortec, what's up, brother? From another
Doctor.
mother down under.
I don't know who Doctor is.
We got
Dr.
this
H.
weirdo that's a biohazard named Franken Krishna.
Frankie Fry. A hijacker, but he can't hear me because he's broadcasting on Studio B.
JMJ12, what's up, brother?
Lola.
Marlio.
Martini P.
Miss Kitty, moi.
MMS Cures.
What's up, Zach? Modius.
Zach. Monkey 99.
Another monkey, 5574.
McDonkey.
Mr. Donkey. Pam.
Rapsy.
Red Shifty, what's up,
Red
mathematician? Schmoopy 2036.
And the other Schmoopy 6541. Call us. We love first-time callers. Don't be scared.
Big time. We got a number now, 562-912-3502. And Skinny, we got Simply Red. Can't forget her.
Holding back the years. Skinny Bob.
Stu Noodle.
Surrey Sunflower.
Thunderbird.
Tremtar.
White Falcon.
And Zeddy. Thank you for calling, guys.
Yeah, I know. It's a roundtable, and we're like sitting here drying out in the desert.
Yeah.
Are we?
But, yeah. Oh, hi. There he is.
Oh, we got Christopher, the farming family, with us, of course.
I thought it seems like he always goes, or maybe it's me. But hi, Seth. I don't think that we saw Dread Shoes before. He just came in. So.
Oh, Seth, what's up? That's my homie right there, too. I wish he'd joined me. I think he's been on my show once or twice, and I think the second time I was sick and I wasn't even on my own show. But yeah, it's got good stuff.
Yeah, I like Seth.
Dun dun dun!
Dun! What is that, the shocked gerbil or what have you?
Oh my gosh, the first time he played it, he like accidentally had it turned up all the way and it blew everybody's ears out. It was so funny. Glad I was there to experience it.
Yeah, Dread, if you're listening, man, join us. Mr. Dread, Dear Red Shoes. I need some keyboard in my life. So, I got another story here. Speaking of Agenda 21, you guys think like all this radiation and stuff, purposely leaking non-upgraded, non-taken care of reactors has anything to do with it also? Like the infrastructure just allowed to degrade. But
Degrade, is that the correct verbiage?
Yeah, they're just not, like letting everything rust. They're letting everything rust. They're not taking care of bridges. They're not taking care of these power plants.
Who's they?
Well, I guess it's us if we want to do the mirror study.
Yeah. Ultimately, that stuff's like all in the counties, the cities, and the states to go through and do all that stuff. Like, what, we're supposed to go depend on the government to come and fix all of our bridges and stuff? Come on.
Well, that's the problem, is all the local jurisdictions have been reliant on getting a federal check every year for so long that they don't know how to do it any differently.
I saw something that it's all in the news and stuff on ABC where they were showing there's a whole bunch of bridges that are all completely falling apart. Yeah. No, I mean, like, even in New York City, they're saying like, it's all rusting and it's not up to code and all this other stuff. And we have all these people supposedly unemployed, so.
Which could be totally, like, avoided if you just repainted the damn thing every couple of years. You wouldn't have a rust problem. The oxidation comes just because of negligence.
Yeah, why don't we have flying cars yet? I mean,
I know. I totally thought we were going to have that by now. We got Segways.
Oh, yeah, because it's not their interest. Hey, there's a video that I saw the other day where this guy was running a car on soda, water, and sugar. Trip, dude. Google it. Car runs on soda, water, and sugar. It's like a bubbler in. It's got like a reactor. It's crazy.
So carbonation must have something to do with it too, right?
I don't know. I didn't really get into the whole physics of it. I was just tripping on it.
Well, good news for us, Chris, here in SoCal. San Onofre's never coming back online. The people actually won that bout, so that's a good thing. The nuclear power plant here in Southern California.
Yeah, I think it's been down for a while, though.
Right. They wanted to bring it back up, one of the reactors at 70%, and the people won. They went to a bunch of local meetings. They protested. They made their voices heard and shut it down. So, good stuff. Bad stuff, though, here. This is Yahoo News. Fukushima fallout may be causing illness in American babies. Study. A new study from the Radiation and Public Health Project found that babies born in the western United States as well as other Pacific countries shortly after the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan in March 2011 may be at a greater risk for congenital hypothyroidism. Babies born in places including Hawaii, Alaska, California, Oregon, and Washington shortly after Fukushima were 28% more likely to suffer from the illness, according to the study, than children born in the same regions 1 year earlier. The illness, if untreated, can cause permanent handicaps in both the body and the brain. Is there a difference? The brain, the body?
It sounds like to me that they should also do statistics on how many of those parents, the mothers that gave birth to those babies, had their flu shots and stuff. You know, that could have a lot to do with it, but you never would know that.
Or if they're chewing on pencil lead or something. We've been joined by that's Michael.
Yay! Dun, dun, dun.
How's it going, guys?
Yo.
So mellow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna light a candle.
You're home early.
Yeah, I didn't have to take my buddy home.
You never get to see me fall. Here.
I did get home early. I didn't have to, like, 20 minutes out of my way when I take my buddy home.
Right on, dude. Glad to have you here.
On your motorcycle you do that?
No, I had to sell the motorcycle.
Oh.
That would just be gay, Heather.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering 20 minutes, you know.
Unless you have a sidecar.
But I have a friend who has one of those. It's that you want to talk about something looking silly.
There you go.
You?
Oh, dude.
So much better.
That's awesome. You need to get that. We need to get a new mime going. Something to do with that. Meme, mime, whatever.
Not dun dun dun.
Yeah. What do you think is hated more, memes or mimes?
Memes, like maiming.
Like meme.
M-E-M-E.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Mimi?
Correct. Well, a meme is like meh. M-E-H.
I don't know what that means either. Dude guy always says that, and it sounds like a goat.
I always thought it was like a thought that you can't get out of your head, like something you can't wrap your mind around, almost like a enigma.
Yeah,
like
it's
like a meme
created and made popularized. That
like using
really doesn't have a definition.
What's an example?
Like a lol's cat.
Lol's cat.
Right.
Oh, okay, got you. Like a Frankenkrishna?
There you go. That's a meme.
Ew. I don't want to be labeled.
Oh, we all have labels. So,
yeah. I think my label was expired a long time ago.
I heard Seth had to duck and cover from tornadoes this week. Is that true, Seth?
Nope.
You didn't have to get into a basement or anything?
Nope, not this week.
There were just gunshots outside my house like 10 minutes ago.
That's always good, too.
Yeah, duck and cover.
Yep.
So, yeah.
What is today? Is today the Humpday Roundtable? It's actually Wednesday now?
Thought it was.
Technically, yes. Yes, it is.
I
It's
wonder
still
what-
Tuesday night for me, but yeah.
Is it the second Tuesday in June? Or the first Tuesday in June?
It depends. Does June actually exist?
Yes.
Then
Also, is that as far as the birthday goes, I was born on the solstice, so it doesn't matter if I say it's the day or the month or the year or whatever. If I was born on the solstice, and that is the easiest birthday to define, because there's no way out of it.
Can you swear that that's true, that you were born on that day? How do you know that?
Yes. Well, because I have the newspaper article.
It actually said Heather Holman is born today?
No, it said the day that I was born, the newspaper came out, and on the front page there was a reporting about a fire that had started. And up until today, I thought that the fire started the second I was born. Like, boom, I was born, fire started. But in actuality, it was exactly 24 hours prior to me being born that an electrical fire just sparked out of nowhere. In a kind of a close vicinity, and it burned the hotel down to the second floor, and I was born on the second floor. But I always thought it was the same day, but it was actually 24 hours apart. And I do have the newspaper. No, I have the newspaper.
But what Chris is saying is you're not old enough to actually witness your own birth.
No, but my mom wrote it down in a book for me, and I have it written down.
Hearsay.
It's documented.
It's hearsay.
It's
You can't swear to it.
Is it
You can't swear to
notarized
it, though.
by a third party?
Your mom can swear to it. Your mom can swear you were born on that day, but you can't.
Well, my
No matter
mom's
what.
because my mom's dead, so she can't swear or she can't say anything. So I'm kind of burnt on that. My dad probably wouldn't even tell me, he'd just tell me I'm full of shit and I know my birthday, So,
You only have one birthday. The rest of them are just anniversaries.
oh, really? Is that something the Greek would say?
That is. Very wise.
Wow.
Chris, you need to check this out, dude. Seth is really good at etymology. It's going to go good with your Black Law Dictionary. It's E-T... Here, I'll type it in the chat, but you really want to study this stuff, too? It goes hand in hand with Black's Law.
So you know what I've been looking at? Hey, you know what I've been doing lately? I've been reading the entire FTCPA and the TCPA, the Fair Credit Reporting Practices Act, and the Federal Debt Collection Practices Act, and the Telemarketing Collection Practicing Acts, and I'm just gonna start filing federal lawsuits on everyone on my credit report. That's the new plan.
Because what are they doing to
None of them have any valid debts. It's all just a bunch of debt collectors just claiming I own the money, and it's all BS. So they're all just itching for a federal lawsuit, and I'm gonna get it too. Watch.
Unless they get you, man, you got to be careful.
No, every time you'll win. Every time they don't have the debt. They just bought it. So
Right, they're just swapping it. We've been joined by the one, the only Can I get some keys, Seth?
Wind chimes.
Oh, here, I'll do some keys.
They only work if I'm not muted.
Oh, okay. Okay. Welcome, buddy.
Agent Smith.
Yeah, Agent Smith. There you go. No need for that.
Hi, Greek.
What's up,
How you doing,
Bubba?
man?
Hey, Seth. Hey, Bubbas.
How's it going?
Fine. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. It's
Yeah,
been a while.
well.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm still on this stinking rock. What do you think?
Yeah. Pretty crappy then.
Could be better.
Yeah, it could be better. It's fine.
But I
It's
can't
just
complain.
What is it? Better than few, not as good as some?
Hey, Greek, is it the smell that bothers you?
Well, it's the kind of smell that you can't smell. It's the odorless one.
Yeah.
It's a fume.
No, I'm not bothered at all. I'm just saying, you know.
Oh, it's a stinking rock. Remember the part when he's sitting there talking to Morpheus and he tells him it's the smell, if there is such a thing.
What was the name you used?
I used Matrix reference.
Oh.
Yeah, when he's talking to Larry, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought he was using some philosopher, like Epicurus. It just sounded so.
Yeah, time for philosophy ended. Philosophy hasn't served you well. It's time for that nonsense is over. Gotta get back down to basics.
I couldn't believe it when I took a philosophy class. I learned that all non-dogs are not all dogs. And I mean, I had
Wait, say that again?
No non-dogs. All dogs are not non-dogs. That's what I learned in philosophy.
Double negative there. I'm not getting.
Yeah, you took philosophy of logic or something like that.
Yeah, that was logic.
Yeah, you read about guys like Kripke and all these other idiots, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all dogs are not non-dogs, guys. Just so you know.
All humans are sea monsters. Just like I'm not nice.
No, sea monster. It's a reference. It's like when it says sea monster. When you look up the definition of human, it says sea monster. Like see the definition of monster.
Oh, in other words, like forward on to this definition.
Yes, and the
As in
definition
sea.
of monster would be C would be S-E-E, not S-E-A. And the definition of monster is a creature which cannot own or inherit any property.
Is that what the definition is?
In Barons or something like that, yeah.
Well, I know foreign word dog.
Valentine's, I believe. Yeah, uh-huh. Something about, yeah, well.
It all goes back to papal bulls that, they signed basically saying they come back and they own everything and they own everyone on the entire planet because Alexander the Great gave it all to the Pope or something like that.
I don't think they really say they own it. They have the controlling interest in it. They own the interest.
Interest. All of it?
No, not interest as an interest as in banking. See, like property, land has never really been bought or sold. The interest in the control of the land has been bought and sold.
Own nothing, control everything.
Somewhat. Like you can't buy land because how do you buy land?
Yeah. When we first came over here, we told the Indians we want to buy the land, and they looked at us and said, "You can't buy the land." They didn't even understand the concept. Like, you can't buy land. This is land. Like, it was given to us by God.
Oh, I know you can buy it on a mortgage loan.
We came over here and start claiming stuff. Oh, I'm going to stake it in the ground. It all goes back to the same idea where it's the Vatican going and claiming, go out and expand the church.
You're not breathing my air right now, are you, Christopher?
It's just so confusing, and then the first thing I learned when I went to school is this land is your land, it's my land. We share.
Our land.
That's where allegiance
to
it's conflicting.
Yeah, they should be spelling school with a K, but.
Right.
Remember like the Little Rascals, they have the little backwards.
Or that chewing tobacco is cool.
I think they did that in Invader Zim as well, a cartoon that was drawn by Yonan Vasquez.
And they have us all swear allegiance to the wartime flag with the yellow fringe. And it's not even authorized by Title 4 of the U.S. Code, which would be under Chapter 1, Chapter 2.
I learned so much from these roundtables, guys. So the gold fringe on the flag is used for the war flags?
Maritime, water law.
It's U.S. military flag of war. It signifies maritime admiralty, maritime or wartime law jurisdiction. It's not a common law jurisdiction under the United States Constitution.
Yeah, but common law is rough because you steal a man's horse, you die the next day.
No, you can get shot on the spot. You know that? Yeah. Hey, Rectify. Can I post a link and can you read it online about a guy who shot a hooker 3 hours?
Why don't you read it, buddy? You got a good voice.
All right, sure. Let me find it. Hold on one second.
Unless you're on like a smartphone or something and it's handicap free, I'll do it.
Let me see if I can find a link, dude.
All right. What's it about?
Guy in Texas got robbed by a prostitute. Went to her house 3 hours later or something and shot her, and then the jury found him not guilty. Went all the way to trial, and the jury found him not guilty because Texas law says that you can shoot someone who commits robbery at night.
Even if they're robbing your neighbor, that's correct. You
so what did she have? Did she have a gun and she stuck him up? You know?
Nope. Just stole his money and didn't. Oh, she stole his money and she didn't sleep with him. That's what it was. She took his money and didn't sleep with him, and it was a nighttime robbery. And Texas law statute said that you can shoot someone who commits robbery at night.
I still He's a coward, I'll tell you that.
That's insane.
Yeah, Florida's got similar laws. Like when you fly into Florida's airports in Miami, there's signs all posted all over the place for foreigners saying, you know, don't even look at someone wrong, you'll get shot, basically.
There was a prostitute that sued a John for rape, and they put her on the stand, and she was being questioned, and they asked her, they said, well, ma'am, how did you know, when did you find out, or how did you determine you were being raped? And she says, when the check bounced.
Dating.
And when she was serious?
No, it's just a joke.
Oh.
There's a comedian that once said, you know, I didn't pay for the hooker to sleep with me. I paid for her to leave. In other words, he paid after.
He paid after?
Yeah. So, like, yeah, Your Honor, I didn't pay for her for sex. I paid her to leave. So how would you put up with that in court? Like, what would be the defense as far as the
prosecution? He should have paid first. That's his defense.
Oh, he just paid her to get the hell out.
Oh, I don't get it.
Here's money to go. Get out of my hotel room.
Okay, bye. See ya.
I don't know. I know one thing, though, is prostitution is the supposed oldest known
job.
Yeah, oldest known occupation, which is interesting. So I guess we were dating way back when, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I wasn't there.
I don't see a difference. Dating, prostitution, really? Come on, people.
Yeah, I can't find it. I can't find it now, but the only link I can find is Texas jury says it's okay to shoot a prostitute.
I'll see what I can find.
Because she might have AIDS or something?
No, dude, because she didn't sleep with him, and she took his money.
And it was at night.
Yeah.
So who is he affiliated with? I mean, there's got to be more to the story here.
Acquitted Texas man who shot prostitute after she refused sex was just protecting himself from theft. San Antonio, South Texas man has been acquitted in the shooting death of a woman he met on Craigslist as a possible escort. A jury in San Antonio on Wednesday, and I have no idea when this is. It doesn't have a date here. Let's see. Actually, June 6th. So just the other day he was acquitted. A jury in San Antonio Wednesday acquitted Ezekiel Gilbert of murder. The defense says Gilbert was protecting himself from theft when he shot Lenora Frago on Christmas Eve 2009. She died several months later. Attorneys for Gilbert said he paid the woman $150 to have sex, then she refused, balked at returning the money, and said she had to give the cash to her driver. The defense said Gilbert's actions were justified because he was trying to retrieve stolen property and the driver was part of the theft scheme.
Wow.
Prosecutors say Gilbert got mad and shot Frago when she refused to have sex with him. That's
the prosecutors. Oh, you should see that. You can go on LexisNexis and read the case law. It's so funny. Like the prosecutors were so mad on everything, and it's just crazy how they actually the jury ruled on it because they got Good.
So it sounds like he just got kind of, so, I don't know, along the line somewhere, something.
I don't see any justification in it. I think the whole jury needs to be shot.
Not that. It would seem like they would frown on somebody
Only in
taking the law
Texas.
into their own hands, but maybe they were trying to, like, you know, praise him for taking the law into his own hands, you know, and that's the only thing I can think of.
Don't mess with Texas. That's it.
San Antonio, that's where I go to school at, and, you know, they're good people. But there's like 3%, I think, the white population, there's like 3%. It's very small.
The 30-year-old hugged his defense attorneys after the not guilty verdict was read by the judge. If convicted, he could have faced life in prison. He thanked God, his lawyers, and the jury for being able to, quote-unquote, see what wasn't the truth.
Which God?
It does not specify.
The capital G, right?
It does have a capital G, but that doesn't really specify.
Which
Wait,
one?
See what wasn't the truth?
Yes, that's
because murder for theft is Babylonian. Biblical, there's no murder for theft. It's you return 7 times. If you don't have the money, you work for the individual till you work it off. Right? That's another GOD. Some of the Hindu GODs, you do penance. That's where the Catholics get it from.
From
You
Hindu?
see, yeah, like late in tradition, not in the text. They develop. They have millions of these deities, and if you murdered, well, you see, you're really not at fault because you're appeasing the god of murder at the moment. So you have to do penance now. You have to sit here. You have a debt. It's very interesting how all of these various gods
Yeah,
have
you know, that's
imposed.
funny because the Hindu, they do their tapas on their tapa beads that are sandalwood, but then the Catholics do their rosaries on their crystal beads, and it's the
Sure.
same method.
Yeah, they just send people all over the world to figure out what would be a good universal way. But there are many gods. It's just which one do you choose? And the thing that's interesting is most people, they don't know. They're not conscious of this. They think you can get away with the same
I
God.
think the Hindu gods, they all represent a different aspect of, you know, whatever. Like if they're going to travel or whatever, they would want to go call up Ganesha or Ganesh.
Uh-huh.
But, you know,
Yeah, the one with the elephant head. They
right, but if
replaced
they
his
want
head.
money and they want fortune, then they would go Shrivati Sita Ram or whatever.
Uh-huh. Those are valid. Those are real entities.
Yeah.
Just that man does not acknowledge it because the university doesn't have a lab where they could put one in, at least where they could tell you.
Yeah, I think I really got into that mainly because I could appreciate the artwork. It was very luring.
He used an AK-47 assault rifle to spray his alleged victim's car with bullets as she was driven away at 4:15 a.m. by her alleged pimp.
Oh, no. Yeah, thanks for that detail, Seth.
Seriously, that jury.
Hey, it was a robbery, dude. I didn't know all that. So there was a pimp too. That's why they're saying it wasn't.
This
really...
article called him that, and it does say alleged.
The driver isn't usually the pimp. The driver is usually because the girl doesn't have a pimp, I thought.
Yeah, she was hit in the neck, left paralyzed and brain damaged from the shooting. She was hooked up to a respirator for several months until her family pulled the plug in July of 2010. And the jury took 11 hours to acquit him, saying his actions were justified because he was simply trying to retrieve stolen property.
And it screwed up their whole civil wrongful death lawsuit and everything.
It says this is because state residents are permitted to, quote-unquote, use deadly force to recover property during a nighttime theft.
But he wasn't trying to recover his money. He was trying to recover something else, right? And that was what his loophole was.
No, but the thing is, that's exactly what it is. It's just what he said. During a nighttime theft. And even when, like, they charged me with burglary, I went and got my Black Saw Dictionary out and looked it up, and it's, when you break and enter into another person's property with the intent to commit a felony at night. See? So it's like, the codes, like, whenever there's a law, like, they always have to be so specific. Because, like, fraud lies in generalities. Like, that's a maximum of law. Like, when you're general, like, that's how you hide, like, frauds, you know? So that's why all the laws have to be very specific and state things in very specific terms. Like, this is exactly what it is, or, you know?
But there's still a conflict because you could show a handful of laws that all property belongs to the state, so that would nullify all of that reasoning. Not what you just said, but property being taken at night or this or whatever. You might be familiar, Chris, that there's many laws that state that it all belongs to the state.
Oh,
so
especially if you're married, yeah. Everything.
Well, or the house, the car, the money is not, so the whole thing is kind of a bad joke. But
I thought
anyway.
possession was 9/10 of the law.
Hey, Greek, you ever notice how on all I was just thinking about this the other day too, on all the deeds of trust or whenever there's a conveyance, it always says to a married man or unmarried man. It's like they are almost like documenting whether the properties belongs to the state or not, or whether it's even the potential to be owned by a natural person.
Yeah, but what's the deed? See, years ago they used to give a title, and when you wanted to create an improvement in the county, and everyone would take the titles down as collateral, deposit them in the county, and they would get a deed, which was the receipt. So when the public work was done and paid off, they would go back to the county with the deed, and they'd replace it and get the title back, right? The collateral back. So now they don't even give title, they just give deeds. So if you get a deed, you ask, well, what's the deed for?
A land deed.
Hey, trip on this. This is what's so funny is I've gone into so much. And it's funny you're even bringing this up, and I don't know how much I can get into about this, Agent Smith, because they're like watching me so well, and it's funny.
Agent Smith.
I don't know, but it's like you're bringing this up. But I'm just gonna say this.
It doesn't matter though. But anyway, go ahead. I mean, I know what you're gonna say, but the whole thing is just It's just like when you go to university, they'll say one thing and 3 minutes later.
Because it's like, I don't know if you're like baiting me, but here we go. I'm going to say it like this. In court the other day, she said that I have to have the deed, that you can't be in possession of the house unless you have the grant deed. Where's the grant deed? That's what she just kept on saying. Where's your grant deed? You're not going to be allowed to be in possession of the property unless you have a grant deed. Okay, now trip on this. 1 year ago, I was convicted in the very same county for stealing the title to the property. That was my charge, and that was what they convicted me for and gave me 2 years.
How'd you steal a title if you never possessed it?
Title is defined in Black's Law Dictionary as the union of ownership, custody, and possession.
Okay,
and the deed is a transfer of any interest in any property, whether it be real or personal. See, real property is land. Personal property is things that are movable objects. Okay, so I cut you off. Go ahead. What were you going to say, bro?
Have you ever heard you just throw something and throw anything and everything until something sticks? They're just throwing stuff at you to see what sticks. They could look. Let's just look at this. Might sound ridiculous, but it might add clarity to what's going on. What if you were charged with stealing rocks from the moon? Would you argue that?
No, hey, listen. As soon as they charge me with that,
it doesn't matter what the charge is.
I pled guilty to it. I was like, oh, you're gonna charge me, and you're gonna say that I stole the title? You see what I'm saying? It's like you're proving my own claim that I'm the owner of the house, and now they're trying to say that I'm not. It's like, then why isn't that recorded in the county recorder's office? And they're saying, where's your deed? It's just like a big joke. So I don't know. I really don't want to get into it on air, but the thing is that the deed is the only thing that the courts recognize. So like you're saying that when it's all going through the title and the courts aren't recognizing any of it. The only thing that they're recognizing is a recorded deed or a deed at all.
Well, they know who has the deed. They're just being facetious.
They're just looking for surety.
But it's funny how you said all the property belongs to the state, so on and so forth, because it's and that's what I was saying about it's recorded in the conveyance always, whether it's a married man or an unmarried man, because when you go and you get married, it's a union between you, your wife, and the state. It's a contract between all three of you.
Well, I didn't really say it. They sort of write it out in their codes also that it all belongs to whoever created it, right? So.
And they're the creators.
So whatever happened to possession is 9/10 of the law. Is that a farce?
No, it's a maximum of law. That's legitimate.
Oof, that just throws it up all in the mix too.
And you've had the keys the whole time, right?
They know. That's why the judge didn't grant the restraining order. She said she was like, what? Like, no, I'm not giving you a restraining order. You guys are crazy.
Breaking and entering if you were given the keys by some sort of broker.
Yeah. That's why I'm suing, dude. The whole thing is insane.
You ever go skiing? You ever go skiing or mountain biking or whatever? There's a little phrase when you do these kinds of sports. It says, keep your line. So if you're skiing down a hill and you look at a tree to the left, guess what? You're going to go right for that tree, right?
Yeah.
Same thing if you're riding mountain bikes on a trail. You look at a ledge off to the right. Even though you're pointing straight forward, the bike's all of a sudden going to turn and go that direction. So man tends to hold a line. Whatever you're looking at, focusing at, is the path that you're going to go down.
Yep. That's why I try not to even focus. Just and you know what's a funny exercise I did when I was in jail is I would just sit and because it's really quiet. I was in a cell with myself. So I noticed that if I'm looking down and just like I would reflect on my life, and if you're looking down and you're thinking, just try this out. Just look down and think about your past. Or think about your life, or anything. And it's like, and I would always think about like the past and all this negative stuff. And then whenever I would look up, I would always think like positive things. And it's the same way, like how you said. So I just keep, and
it's kind of like a liar always looks to the left, right? When they're lying.
No, that doesn't mean that. What it means is if you ask someone a question and they look up out of the corner of their eyes, they don't move their head, they just look up to the right, it means they're thinking that scientifically. If they look up towards the left, it means they're thinking mathematically or something like that.
I want to throw something out too because you guys are getting
If somebody's talking about you, your ear starts itching.
Religion a second ago, and I was listening to this Manly P. Hall thing, and he was talking about how one of the warriors in the Chinese Empire, they're all like into the Buddha thing over there. So there was some kind of war that was going to happen, and one of the generals went to the Buddhist priest, and he told him, one of the Buddha masters, and told him, hey, Buddha would have me, not go and create this bad karma and go kill for the state, and but my allegiance to my nation and my government and my family and to protect the community, I'm obligated to do these. So what should I do? I have these obligations to the state, and I still have these obligations to Buddha. And he kind of told him that death is certain for the living, and birth is certain for the dead. So it's like, I know it seems kind of like screwed up, but it's like the same kind of concept where it's as above, so below. So even when you're getting into the whole, like, I really don't have any sympathy for the whole Codex Alimentarius or all the vaccinated, I mean, all the bad stuff that's going on.
Do you eat fast food and all that stuff, or do you cook for yourself, or what? Do you look at like ingredient lists on the back of products?
I've been like living off the ether, dude. I can't even explain it.
I'm with you, man.
He's a breatharian.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dr. Bell,
But you can't be consumed by all of the corruption, or else it will consume you. You just, go on a brighter path, or whatever path that doesn't cause disease.
No, like I literally hardly like eat anything, but I don't gain or lose any weight. It's just weird. Like I'll drink water or just eat fruit.
You don't age?
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, you are still very young. Considerably, I think, aren't you?
Yeah, but I've just noticed like a lot of people having the same kind of experiences too. So
what's your ultimate goal in your fight, your battle with the quote unquote authority of government and its unlawfulness of color of law? I mean, what is the long run goal of Christopher of the Fleming family?
I don't know. I've been getting a lot of death threats and stuff, so I don't really plan for the future.
You just want your house, isn't that it?
No, I just want to go get a jet and go bomb Africa with food and water and set up like some kind of agricultural systems for them down there. Oh. And that's really what this whole thing is all about. Is like, it's not anything about like the mansion or anything. It's just the reason why I had to do the mansion was just to prove the point that, there's no money and that this whole system that, come on, like if you're on welfare, how can someone on welfare get a $2 million mansion, be an escrow, have keys? Like, if there's money and this whole system is all, like, how does that happen? I have no credit. Like, how did that happen? So, I don't know. It's just the point that I promised to pay is money, and I show everyone.
When you get to Africa, man, I've got some circuits that I want to drop on them folks too. So you let me know, man. We'll
We
give
don't
them
need to
light.
feed them. We don't need to feed them, dude. We need to have them set up their own system so that they can feed themselves and that they can. If there's just water there, the food will grow, dude. Where the water flows, the food will grow. That's it. Period. You know.
I have an acquaintance that recently did a 10-country tour on the continent of Africa. I believe there's 36 countries, and he was amazed at the quality of the produce and the food there.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're being told is very different. Like, for example, back in the days when the alleged Cold War between the Russians and the Americans, all the Russians thought all Americans wore cowboy hats.
All of us?
Dude, where your buddy went is like the places that are okay
West
for people to go.
West Coast and South. He even went to Chad, which was probably the worst that he saw, most barren, where you actually have human roadkill at Chad.
Go Google Liberia. Or wait, what's it?
Human roadkill?
Wait,
Are they-
Liberia, that's where, what is it?
Chad would be the center.
Naked resides from.
Yeah, General Butt Naked, and I mean, go look at that stuff. Like that's not fake. That stuff's really going on in.
It's politicalism.
And the main goal is not the thing is that we're sending all this like food and all this stuff, but it's all being like corrupt. Like it's being taken by the WHO and the World Health Organization, and we're going to distribute this, make sure that it gets to the people who need it, and it never does. It's like it's just I don't know. There's a whole bunch of
Rondo.
Check this out, Chris. How do you like this? Starting next week, I'm going to have a Mormon on, and we're going to have the roundtable just go ahead and try their hardest to beat up the Mormon and debate him. And then the week after that, I'm going to have a Jew on. And the week after that, I'm going to have a Muslim, and then a Hindu, and then an atheist, so forth and so on. And that's how we're going to start our roundtables, just to see, the point of view of frickin' stupid religions. But
Yeah, well, none of them are doing anything that's in the text that they allegedly subscribe to.
Right, which I hope you're around, Greek, because you're gonna.
No, I don't debate with anyone. You just ask anyone that wants to debate you if the purpose of the debate is for one of the debaters to win the debate, and they usually say yes.
So is that what we're doing?
I just want Q&A.
So then you just grant them the win, and let's go have coffee. Why debate?
I want to find a common ground.
If you debate a fool, they're going to take you down to their level and beat you up with stupidity. Why?
Because you asked for it.
That's what academia does. Academia promotes debating and arguing. So you'll never, ever, ever, ever see what's 5 feet in front of you.
Actually, at my school, they emphasize more on compare and contrast than debating.
Yeah, that's a nice try, maybe. Get it? But anyway.
Yeah, nice. Real nice.
Try. Yeah, there is no education at the moment. Period. It's just training.
It's stupid.
You're being trained for behavior in a particular society, you're being formatted.
I'm trying my hardest, but it's just not happening. I should be done by the end of the summer. I should have my degree, and I don't even know what's going on, really.
There is no degree. When you get the diploma, read it. What does it say? Go as somebody that's in front of a computer. Just pull up, if you have one, a degree in bachelor's, master's, or doctorate. Pull it up and read it.
I couldn't find
where's the evidence? Where's the evidence that you have a degree? No one's even reading that. It's amazing the surface-dwelling human, earth-dwelling inhabitants. It's like, get up on your hind legs and pay attention.
Something. Get out of the cycle, for God's sake.
You're being formatted. You're not being. It's like most people are one nut and one screw away from being a robot.
I wish.
But anyway, that's the rant for tonight.
It's better to be mute than to debate with the ignorant.
No debating, no arguing. That's a format. That's a trick that's been it's been put out for 2,000 years, and people are still falling for it.
I just want to kind of rectify, there's been a lot of hate on Jews and all this pointing the finger
no such
at
thing.
different groups.
There's only men and women.
Right.
Right? The rest of it is if you're a Jew, you can go and convert to Islam And then you could convert to Christianity. You can convert to Satanism. It has nothing to do with who you are. It's a format.
It's like the book you choose at the library.
Well, monkeys aren't Jewish and Christian and Hindu. The monkeys don't have a religion because they're another species. We're just a species of people. That's all we are.
Well, it goes beyond that. Once you see that the brain or the mind, the spirit, is different, man's spirit is different, and it's wired a certain way to function, right? That your man is always looking for what is right or wrong. And there's places where you can get that, but no one, they'll look everywhere else but where they should be. So.
Where, in the phone book?
Yeah, you want to try that?
Well, no, where are you going to find the answer, though? Where should they be looking?
The ignorant always ask questions that the wise answered thousands of years ago.
Maybe I wasn't listening.
It's all been done over and over and over. That's the insanity of it.
Yep, there's nothing new under the sun. And
yeah.
And we're all just figuring out, like, whenever you think you've figured something out or you've come on some, like, revelation, it's already been figured out by people who have, sat around and actually contemplated these things. This
you
is
know
like
what?
elementary.
I don't go through all. I don't think about it. I'm just trying to figure out myself. I'm stuck on that. I mean, maybe that's an egotistical thing to say, but I really can't control, or I don't worry or focus too much on anything that I have no control over.
No, that's the whole point, Heather, is understanding yourself. Like, even like in the Circle 7 Quran, it always says the same thing as like study yourself, and that's how you come to know the Creator, is through knowing yourself.
Yeah,
where did you get that? Where did you get that information?
Know thyself. It's in it's called the Circle 7 Quran. Would it be cool if I read a little part of it, out of it? Because I think it kind of ties into what we were just talking about. Cool. All right, hold on. Let me just find it.
Circle 7 Quran. So are you becoming a Muslim now, Chris? You've always been like anti-religion.
As a Moor, because I'm a naturalized Moorish American.
Okay.
We use the Holy Circle 7 Quran, and it's part of our nation's it's part of our nation's
your doctrine.
Yeah.
But have you read the Quran?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But
and
it's actually, I haven't read it. Okay, the thing is I haven't read the entire thing, and when I was in jail, I was reading it, but it's actually supposed to be read in Hebrew, and I don't know how to do that.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, some countries say that it's illegal to have a non-Arabic translation. But
I'm just going to get into this real quick. These are the secret teachings of, because then we only got a couple of minutes. These are the secret teachings of Jesus Christ, from the times when he was 12 years old till he was 30. And these were all left out of the Bible, but these were hidden away from the people of the Muslims of the West. But these have all been known. This is when Jesus was in India, Egypt, and with Buddha. I think that this quote that I'm about to read out of chapter 7 of the Circle 7 Quran. This was by the noble prophet Jew Ali, who started the whole Moorish Science Temple. Okay, but watch. And Jesus said, "The Allah I speak about is everywhere. He cannot be encompassed within walls nor hedged about by bounds of any kind. All people worship Allah, the One, but all people see Him not alike. His universal Allah is wisdom, will, and love. All men see not the triune Allah. One see Him as Allah of might, another see Him as Allah of thought, another see Him as Allah of love. But man's ideal is his God. And so as man unfolds, his God unfolds. Man's God today, tomorrow is not God. The nations of the earth all see Allah from different points of view, and He does not seem the same to everyone. Man's names for Allah man names Allah as he sees them. Man names Allah he sees. And this to him is all of Allah. And every nation sees Allah, a part of Allah. And every nation has a name for Allah. You Brahmins, because this is when he was in
opposite of backwards, Allah is Allah.
Brahmins in India, yeah.
So the Brahmins were in India. So he says, in verse 19, you Brahmins call him Parabim. In Egypt, he is called Thoth. And Zeus is his name in Greece. Jehovah is his Hebrew name. But everywhere he is the causeless cause, the rootless root, from which all things have grown. When men are afraid of Allah, they take him a foe, and they dress up other men in fancy garbs and call them priests, and charge them to restrain the wrath of Allah by prayers. And when they fail to win his favor with prayers, they buy him off with sacrifice of animal birds. When man sees Allah as one with him, the Father Allah, he needs no middleman, no priest to intercede. He goes straight to him and says, Father God, Allah, and then he puts his hand in Allah's own hand, and as well, in all as well. And this is Allah, you and each one, a priest just for yourself, and sacrifice of blood Allah does not want. Just that you give your life in sacrificial service to all of life, and Allah is pleased. That's the Circle 7 Quran, chapter 7. But there's a whole bunch of...
There's no Jesus to them?
No, Jesus said all that. This is from the Circle 7.
Oh.
Jesus was trying to...
Muslims believe in Jesus big time. He's the second most quoted prophet in the Quran.
Oh, so he's basically saying against Christianity as we know it.
Christianity was corrupted, and a lot of his teachings are known by Christianity, and they were taken out of the Bible. That's why when Muhammad came, that's why he said, that's why a lot of people don't even know what Allah is. They think like, oh, Allah is some other God. No. Allah is the concept that God is the source of all creation. It's Zeus, Parabim, Jesus, Horus.
If you guys want to do an interesting or enlightening study, an objective one, I've got a bunch of notes. I was working on the origin of all of these gods back from 03 and 05. I'll have to dig it out. And I've spent quite a while sourcing where these entities sourced from, and most of them were men that died. In other words,
they died and not ascended.
These are men. These were men during a different era that were capable of great things, and they became deified.
Kronos had 3 sons, Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades, and this is from the oldest writings that we have from.
Those are mythological. Those come from the pre-flood era, legends of society, pre-flood society. Yeah. It's very interesting, and how you can. I don't know even where to send you to research this stuff, but maybe one day we'll do a call.
Omega Project Codes is a good place to start for a lot of that stuff too. It goes into a whole thing about that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I want to thank Heather, my co-host, Christopher, the Fleming family, Seth, Michael, and the Greek, as always. You guys rock, and you saved our butts.
All stars.
All stars. Have a good week, guys. Happy Humpday.
Who's up next? Any idea?
It's dead air, man. Grab it.
Oh, I don't know that I can.
Listening to Revolution Radio.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? No, how dare you? No, how dare you? How dare you? No, how dare you? You dare to damn me? How dare you? How dare me when how dare you? You big sleepyhead.
Hello all, thanks for tuning in to Revolution Radio. We are the #1 public access commercial-free internet talk radio station on the web, with between 12 and 16 hours of live programming per day, bringing you news, politics, entertainment, and just plain human interactive talks, which are extremely informative and successful nightly open caller roundtables. And how do we do this? Through the support of volunteers and donations from good listeners like you. So if you're digging what you hear, and we are bringing you an entertaining and informative service, please visit our site support page and donate to the cause. Keep us live, keep us kicking, help us bring you the talk.